So at this point, these movies should probably be renamed Mission Likely Possible, Mission Probable, Mission Possible, so long as you have that identity theft mask machine at hand. That one. Mission Impossible Fallout is the 6th film in the Mission Impossible franchise and is also the 6th film to feature Tom Cruise as its lead, which is absolutely bonkers when you think that the first Mission Impossible film came out 22 years ago. Tom Cruise is not real. I'm pretty sure he was sent to this earth to teach us that Scientology works, and if we join, we too can be 50 and fall out of a helicopter and not die, or like run off a building and literally break our ankle and still be able to run. This time Ethan Hunt is trying to save the world from a terrorist group called the Apostles. They have these 3 plutonium orb things that can be turned into very powerful nuclear weapons. He's joined by Benji and Luther and a moustached Henry Cavill, who is an absolute tank in this movie. He's like a literal human army tank. And that's probably all you need to know for those of you who haven't seen this film yet. Not to say that the story isn't good. The story is always actually quite compelling in these films, but personally I go to see the Mission Impossible movies to watch Tom Cruise live out his midlife crisis by completing crazier and crazier stunts, and to see him run, because you know there's always going to be a scene of him just running super fast. So I went into Fallout expecting even more tense, anxiety-ridden, sweaty palm stunt-filled moments than the previous film Rogue Nation, which is a big ask given that in Rogue Nation Tom Cruise literally hung from the side of an airplane as it took off. And Fallout did not disappoint. The fight sequences and the stunt choreography in this movie are superb. Some of the best that I've ever seen in an action film. While there are a lot of really great action sequences in this film, the most insane has probably got to be the scene where Ethan is in pursuit of the bad guy in a helicopter. Firstly, how he gets into the helicopter in itself is horrifying because he doesn't just climb aboard when the helicopter's on the ground. Oh no, that would be way too easy. Instead, he monkey climbs up a rope that's carrying cargo as the helicopter flies off. And once he actually gets into the helicopter, the tension only builds from there as he weaves around the mountains and at one point even spirals down to the ground, which is a crazy stunt for even a trained professional to do. But Tom Cruise did this with only a couple hundred hours of helicopter training. The man is mad. But as I said earlier, it's not just the stunts that stand out in Mission Impossible 6 because the fight choreography is equally as impressive. By now, if you haven't seen the film, you still would have likely heard about the bathroom fight sequence. It's the one from the trailer and it is bomb.com. Henry Cavill's character Walker and Ethan Hunt go up against the bad guy in a bathroom of a nightclub, and what's cool about this scene is that each character has a very distinct fight style, and it's really awesome to see how they've woven these together into one sequence. Brilliant. I also really liked the addition of Henry Cavill's character Walker. I think he did a great job here, and the moustache paid off, at least in this movie, because he looks significantly more badass with it. My only complaint about the character of Walker is that I wish that they'd introduced him a little earlier in this film franchise. Without getting into spoilers, his impact on the storyline maybe would have been greater if we'd known him from a previous film, perhaps Rogue Nation or something like that. The actual plot of Fallout is not overly original. Bad guy has nuclear weapon that he wants to use to make bomb to destroy civilians and cause general chaos is a pretty standard spy storyline, but I don't think it really matters here because the way the story unfolds is exciting enough. I will say this though, those face-changing mask machines are such a lazy plot point. Even when the machine breaks, they still manage to make one of those masks. Like at this point, how is everyone not just ultra paranoid? Nobody is ever who they actually are. Lo and himself composed the soundtrack for Mission Impossible Fallout. This is the first time he's done the score for a Mission Impossible film, and he has done such a phenomenal job. He's really mastered building that tension and the high anxiety scenes. I've seen some people compare him to Hans Zimmer's work and also the soundtrack from The Dark Knight, which I think is a pretty fair comparison. I had a blast with this movie. At 2 hours 23, it's about 15 minutes too long, but overall a really fun time, some great performances, and of course some insane stunt work. I'm gonna give Mission Impossible Fallout an 8 out of 10. But what did you guys think of Mission Impossible Fallout? What was your favourite fight or stunt scene in the movie? Mine personally was the bathroom scene, but that's because I am a pervert, and that's the one where Henry Cavill looks the most badass. If you liked this video, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks as always for watching. I'll see you here for the next one. Caw-caw!